the United States following the right policy on global warming? And if we're not, what should it be?
The United States turned down Kyoto. President Clinton never submitted Kyoto, yet he was the one who negotiated. Never submitted it to the Senate because Mr. Byrd and the Senate, 95-0, said, do not give us a treaty that doesn't include China and India. Now, I wish President Bush had simply submitted it without prejudice instead of not ever submitting it, because it would have had about 10 votes. Now, do I think global warming is serious? Absolutely. Would I have been supportive of Kyoto? I think I would have been. I'm not in the Senate, in spite of the fact that China and India are not part of it. But this is what I do know. I have basically 100% rating with the League of Conservation Voters, a 92% rating all my life. I have focused on the environment when people didn't care about it. I put in legislation to get CAFE standards when people didn't care about it. I was the first when the Clinton administration wanted to crack down on the plants, the coal plants that were retrofitted but not improving. When they modernized, they didn't increase the standards that they had to abide by. I was the first member, Republican or Democrat, who supported the administration. I've been against mountaintop mining, and I've stood in the way of Harry Byrd. In fact, I even had to get off a plane to go back to the House to object to his bill coming up for a vote. The bottom line is this: we need to protect our air, we need to protect our water, we need renewable energies, and I would fund renewable energies out of the blithely answer of my colleague who said we could have drilling. No, we need drilling, and we could fund it. We could fund all the renewable energy by the royalties from it. Global warming.
I applaud Chris Shays' record on the environment. What he says today is true. He has done a good job on that issue. And I make that point because he's accusing me of making misstatements. And when you look at my ads, you'll see that every statement I make is backed up by footnotes, and every statement I've made today will be substantiated. But he has a good record on the environment, but that doesn't change the fact that we as a country have ignored what we now know we must do, that we must cut the carbon emissions, not just in this country, but around this world, or we can stop talking about the kind of world we're going to leave to our children and grandchildren, because we're not going to leave them a world. So what we must do is, again, do what we do best, which is to unchain the private sector, our venture capitalists, our startup companies, to really get serious about wind, about solar, about biomass, about all of the alternatives that are just waiting for us to lead, the way we led on the computer industry, what we have always done. They're just waiting for us to make the decisions and take the policy that will incentivize our companies to do that, through things like cap and trade, through things like tax credits that incentivize that sort of thing. This is our problem to solve. And the best news of all is that when we do that, it's going to create millions of jobs in this country. My children, my grandchildren will be working with and in clean energy. And that's why we should and must do this.